This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, let's bring him aboard. Let's talk a little Okie. As the Panthers last night dropped the first game to Toronto 5-4. And Colby Guy, you can follow him on Twitter like I do, Colby D. Guy. And of course, pucksandpalms.com and the Palm Beach Post. Colby, how you doing, my buddy?
Doing good. Just a couple of technical issues this morning, but we're all good now.
all good, man. You know what? I ended that game feeling really good about the Cats. They did nothing the first two periods. They didn't play sharp. You know, the team wasn't sharp. The goalie wasn't sharp. And then the third period is when I started seeing actual Panther hockey, and they got right back into the game. And for them to lose by one goal and play a pretty crappy game in one of the toughest atmospheres in hockey, I don't know. It's a loss, but I kind of feel pretty good about the team after a loss, dude.
Yeah, I mean, the first period, things kind of snowballed on them, and they looked really shaky. But really, from like midway through the second period on, they looked like themselves. They were playing their game, and they're able to kind of jump back in there and make that comeback effort. But really, I mean, when you compare how they played in this game to the way they played round two, game one of last year, it was pretty similar when you look at the way they started. But the fact that they already kind of started rounding back into their game in the second and then third period, and you can see where they are getting to playing Panthers hockey, I think that bodes a lot better for game two. Although in that Boston series last year, they ended up winning that series in five anyways. But it feels like they're at least at a place where they're fine with their game after kind of getting off to that shaky start, as they do sometimes when they have a week-long layover and you have an environment like Toronto.
Yeah, man, that's a great environment. And let me tell you, and you get Ekblad back for game two. So, you know, it just makes you better. I was just talking about this because I don't know if you know what happened to me. Like 2 months ago, I fell in the bathroom in the middle of the night. You know, for 25 years, I get up in the middle of the darkness and, you know, muscle memory. I just go pee and come right back, right? And so because I lie in a little bit of an incline, I have stents in my heart. So apparently the doc told me that day when I went to the bathroom, the blood had not gone all the way to my head. So when I'm walking away from the toilet, I fall back, black out completely. My wife has to come save me. I'm convulsing and I hit my head and I got a gash in the back of my head. And so I'm 2 months off of it. I'm still having symptoms. Okay. So I see what happened to Stellars last night. And, you know, one of the things that I've been telling people now is, you know, now that I'm living it, like we got to be careful with players when we are critical. Oh, why is it taking so long? Dude, these things, you don't know how long they're going to last. Like neurologically, everything has checked out for me, but I still have a little bit of lightheadedness when I'm lying down a little bit. That when I get up, I got to kind of like, you know, rebalance myself for a couple seconds and then I'm off and running. And when I put my head on something cold where I hit my head, lights spin for like 4 seconds, 3-4 seconds, and then it stops. And then my brain or my everything adjusts. So these are little things that are happening to me, which if I was a player, I would not be able to go back to playing, especially freaking hockey. Are you kidding me? You know, that kind of stuff. Because again, if I hit myself there where I haven't completely healed, and that's 2 months removed, that's crazy shit. So now, last night, we're looking at the Stellars thing. I don't believe Bennett gave him. I don't know what they're saying in Toronto. I'm sure they're killing him. But, dude, that puck, for me, that puck is what caused it, because I remember that once you get concussed, you have after effects. And they kind of, hit you after. And I'm kind of feeling that that's what it was. What's the talk with all that stuff with Stellars and Bennett?
Yeah, I mean, there was just a report that came out from Elliot Friedman that says that there's not going to be any discipline from the play on Sam Bennett, and it looked like it was pretty incidental contact when he was. I got a phone call in the middle of talking,
We don't.
so
We don't.
I'm
We
sorry
don't.
about that.
No,
I hung up on them, but yeah, but anyways, so the league is not going to discipline Sam Bennett for this. He it looked like it was a bit of incidental contact, and like you said before, it looked like that shot Hart really put a number on him first. And I saw a tweet from a doctor that specializes in concussions, kind of saying that the symptoms really started with that particular hit
for sure.
rather than, or that particular shot rather than the hit, and everything kind of just exacerbated after that. So it doesn't look like anything's happening to Bennett, but everybody's hoping Anthony Stolarz is okay, obviously.
Definitely, dude. Take it from me. I just took a shot in the back of my head 2 months ago. It f's with you, bro. Okay, and especially right that's at the moment when it happens, it f's with you pretty damn bad. And to me, when I saw that last night, and as you know more than all of us, those pucks are not just hard rubber; they're frozen hard rubber. So it oh my god, that shit hurts, bro. Hurts to get hit, and he didn't see it coming, which is he took the whole brunt of that thing, dude. That was bad, man. That was bad.
Yeah, and like he clearly had the shake after that shot. It came in at about 90 miles an hour, and it just didn't look good. And I mean, the fact that he wasn't pulled after showing some signs where I think the doctor on Twitter said it was about a 72% that was chance of him having a concussion with that particular um symptom there. I think you need to the bigger conversation needs to be about the concussion spotters and why it took so long for them to get Stolarz out of that game.
Yeah, that to me is the real deal. Bob wasn't necessarily sharp last night. I'm not going to blame everything on Bob, but I'm going to say it wasn't the best Bob either, right?
Yeah, at least in the first period, there were a few weak ones he gave up. I mean, the first goal that William Nylander scored, there was a lot of bodies in front of the net, and he just found a very, very small hole at a wide angle. So that one you have to give to William Nylander. There were a couple breakdowns off the rush as well. I mean, especially on that fifth goal where Uvis Balinskis was late coming off the bench. Sam Reinhart still down in the offensive zone after getting tripped. So you only have two or three guys back there and there's not much you can do defending that rush. So I wouldn't say it's completely on Sergei Bobrovsky, and he did calm down a lot after that first period too, because he made a couple of really good saves to help keep the Panthers in this one when they were making their comeback effort. But I mean, when you look at the first period, you definitely want to see a bit better from Sergey.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. That to me was one of the and again, he's been on he kind of then got on it after he had some really nice saves later on in the evening too. So he started to get in a groove himself also. What else did you see from that game that you were, not comfortable with, let's just say?
I mean, yeah, the Mikhail Kulikov pairing kind of got eaten up a little bit when they were. This isn't going to be a problem anymore with Aaron Ekblad coming back, but Dmitry Kulikov didn't have his best game. He got beat a couple times, and I mean, this is a third pairing guy that's been forced to play second pairing minutes for past 15, 20 games with Aaron Ekblad out of the lineup. So that's something that's going to solve itself once he comes back, but he didn't have his best game, and there's also just a bunch of miscommunications throughout the lineup. And as I said on that fifth goal that Toronto got for insurance, Uvis Balinskis was late coming off the bench. There's some miscommunication there. In the first period, the puck movement was sloppy, and it just didn't look like they were able to get up that much. But once you got past that portion of the game, outside of a couple of other errors, it seemed like they worked themselves out.
Colby, how's that atmosphere, dude?
It is crazy. Um, I mean, I'm not in Toronto. I couldn't make the trip.
No,
It's
but
outside of my.
you've been there, so I'm sure you know how crazy that because these people are like They're like Dolphins fans. Like they haven't won a championship in like 50 years or something. When was the last time Toronto won one?
1967.
Right. Yeah. So Dolphins is 74. What the hell's the difference? 7 years? What are we talking about? So, and I almost feel it's like that. Like obviously to another level with Toronto. They are the center of everything when it comes to hockey. But they're fans. They love their team. They're dying for them to win one. I mean, that is one of those fan bases that kind of deserves it because they've been so loyal and hanging in there, and they're still a powerhouse financially. Everything they have stuck with them, considering they don't win jack, dude.
I've always said that the Toronto Maple Leafs have the fan base of the New York Yankees and the team success of the Minnesota Twins.
Okay, I love that. I love that. Which is completely true, dude. Completely true. They have the fans that should have the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Chiefs or something. Yeah, yeah, you're right. They're the fans that should have a team that has gotten on a roll, the Patriots or something, you know. Yeah, that is so true, and they don't get what they deserve because their fandom. How many people fit out there, Colby, on the outside of the arena? How many people can they put out there?
There's thousands, and these people are outside the arena while there's like about 20,000 more in the arena. So that entire city is just Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs, and they don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one of the most crazy, passionate fan bases in sports, and it's up there with the Yankees and the Dodgers and all these other big American sports teams. Like they are the New York Yankees of Canada.
I actually compare them more to like Manchester United fans or Liverpool fans. I think it's to the level of soccer. The fandom for them, for me, the way I see them, they treat it like soccer. That craziness. You know what I mean? There's very few American teams that have that kind where they can line up thousands outside also. You know what I'm saying? And a whole city just shuts down. There's not a lot like that, bro. That's some crazy stuff, man. That's impressive. By the way, the Ekblad stuff, it's all become a blessing in disguise. When he got suspended, I was like, yeah. I was like, okay, they're so freaking deep. 5 years ago, 7 years ago, Ekblad's out. As Panther fans are like, oh shit, what are they going to do? The defense is going to suck. But you can win now without a stud or two on this team because there's so many studs. And because he's so injury prone, unfortunately, I was like, dude, 20 games off. He'll be fresh for the playoffs. This is awesome. And then he gets this 2-game suspension, which sucks. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, they're deep enough. They can overcome. And now they'll get him back and he's fresh. So that's one thing I do like about Ekblad in the suspensions. It has kept him fresh. And for a player that has dealt with a crap ton of injuries, dude, I kind of find it like a blessing in disguise for the Panthers, dude.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at how Aaron Ekblad played specifically in Game 4 of the Tampa series, because Game 3 it was a bit rough because there were some miscommunications that the Lightning were able to take advantage of, and of course, when you switch things up, that's going to happen. But in Game 4, he was a lot sturdier defensively, and he comes in, scores the big game-tying goal. But he looks healthy out there, and that's important when you're going deep into a playoff run to have a guy that's a bit fresher. And there are a few other guys that were able to kind of rest up and get fresher too when they were going through what they were going through late in the season. So, that's going to help a lot going deep into the playoffs, and that's going to be a lot more important than home ice is. Obviously, they lost last night, but they're 3-1 on the road in the playoffs, so it's something they're comfortable with doing, and they were able to kind of fight back after falling into a hole early. So, I mean, I think they're in a good spot.
Yeah. Colby, the one thing last night, you gotta watch out with the penalties, man. You don't want to give this team too many power plays, right? I mean, that was kind of like keeping us on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, like as good as that penalty kill has been for the entire playoffs now. You don't want to give the Maple Leafs five chances a game because eventually they are going to find a hole. But also during that comeback effort, they took two penalties almost immediately after drawing back within a goal, and that kind of slowed them down a little bit. And who knows if they don't take those two penalties, they might still be on the forecheck trying to find that equalizer. But they kind of had to step back and defend a little bit, and that took a little bit of the wind out of their sails. So even when you're getting a big penalty kill, and that is a pretty big boost for you, when you're pushing the way they were to start the third period, it definitely looked like it took a little bit of wind out of their sails to have to go back there and kill a couple of penalties while you're looking for that tying goal.
Colby, how can folks follow you and keep up with all your stuff, pucks and palms and everything else?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Colby D Guy, and you can find my Panthers coverage at pucksandpalms.com and also during the playoffs in the Palm Beach Post.
There you go. Colby, as always, I appreciate you, my brother. Enjoy the playoff run. You're on the only beat that actually, like, is producing like a real team, bro. I mean, think about that. All right. The top dog is always the Dolphins. It's always football, but they haven't produced in decades. The Heat was the top dog in town for the last 25 years. Now the top dog, the team that is run top to bottom better than anybody else in town. That's the team you cover, dude. How crazy is that? That hockey, top to bottom, is the best organization in town.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, especially just looking at the way this organization was about 15, 20 years ago, it's definitely a big change, but it's definitely a welcome one.
Ownership does it all, dude. Ownership that's where it starts. That's where it ends. You get the right guy that knows how to put all the people in place. Eventually, it all works out, man. Colby, thank you, my brother. Enjoy the hockey. We'll catch up down the line.
Awesome. Thank you. You too.
You got it. Colby Guy, of course, Colby D Guy on Twitter. Good dude. He's always gonna wear like some stylish suit before each contest that he goes to.